Welcome to the REPXPERT Conference vlog. Ahead of the REPXPERT Conference on the 22nd of May in Coventry, I'm talking to key aftermarket experts about the current state of the industry, how businesses and suppliers can work together, and why garage owners and technicians should be attending the event. My guest today is Simon Powney, Director at Markhams Garage. Simon started there 32 years ago as a trainee and has stayed at the same garage throughout his career, rising through the ranks. So he has a great understanding of how garage businesses and suppliers can come together for the benefit of the customers. Markhams Garage was also the first ever REPXPERT millionaire, winning 1 million REPXPERT bonus points last year. Simon, welcome.
Thank you very much, Phil, for inviting me.
So first question, why should technicians and business owners be considering attending the REPXPERT conference in May?
Well, I think why not, really, to be honest. You know, I mean, it looks like a great event. Obviously, it's the first event that they've ever done. But it seems it's like the manufacturer trying to help the aftermarket. You know, in the aftermarket, we need as much as we can get, sort of technical information and assistance from the manufacturers, because at the end of the day, they want us to sell their products. The more they help us, the more we can do the jobs, you know. So yeah, so as much as we can really from them. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's free. I mean, that appeals to a lot of people in this trade. It's a free day out, and surely we're going to get something out of it. You know, there's so much out there that they can give to us. So I'm sure we'll pick something up from it. You know, there's sort of networking opportunities. You go to these events, it's, you know, so I quite enjoy going to events like this, and it's not just sort of Schaeffler, it's all different events that I go to in the trade, and you meet people and you talk to people. I've got a brilliant network of friends all throughout the motor trade, all over the country, really, to be honest, that if I have problems with certain things that I can contact, and it's very useful to have that network. So events like this, it's crucial for me to sort of meet people and get involved with things like that. But also, I see that they're doing a lot of technical workshops and things like that. Again, as I say, it's the manufacturer, Schaeffler, helping us really to be able to do our jobs. We want to be here as long as we can. You know, we're looking at being in the trade as long as we can, and I feel the aftermarket sometimes struggles with keeping up the main dealers. Main dealers would like all the work, and obviously we want to try and keep the work as best we can. So so that's what we're trying to do, is to keep learning, basically, keep evolving.
And I think it's important, isn't it? You said about networking. With events like this, it's always crucial to remember that the information and the data that is presented and the learning opportunities you have, the networking side of it is just as important, finding out how other garages are coping with challenges, what opportunities they're seeing, what they might be implementing that might be good for your business as well.
Absolutely. We all learn from each other, to be honest. You know, I mean, this trade is very good for talking to each other. I've got quite a good group of friends who are in the motor trade that I talk to regularly, and we discuss different bits and pieces and whatever about how we do things. And you can just learn different things from the way people do things. You know, sometimes I'll ring up and say, what are you doing about this? How are you doing this? And yeah, it's how we evolve, really. Yeah, we all sort of bounce off each other. So so the networking side of it is great.
But the automotive industry is changing at the moment. There's new technologies coming through. There's much more pressure, I think, on independent garages. And as you said, you know, franchise dealers, they want all the work and they'll push towards that as well. So what challenges do you think garages are facing at present?
So I think really it is keeping up to date with technology. Hence sort of days like this are great, because, you know, you can go, you can see different things. There's a lot of people out there that specialize in stuff, and a business like ours is the sort of business that people like to come to us, our customers like to come to us and have a one-stop shop. They don't want to go back to the main dealer. They have always been to us. They trust us, trust our judgment, and they like us to do the jobs on their cars. Well, sometimes that's not possible. As you know, technology has moved on and the main dealers have kept it to themselves. But we like to try and keep up to date as much as possible so that we can do as much as we possibly can in-house, to be honest. So, you know, that's important to us, really. And as I say, it's important to the customer as well.
I imagine maintaining that customer relationship is key, isn't it? And that can also breed, you know, word of mouth and so on and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. Well, our reputation is very important to us, and, you know, people bring things in and they like us to do it. reputation is important, and if somebody brings something to you and you can't do it, then you possibly lose that customer. They may well go somewhere else, and you may never see them again. So, future proofing for us really is being trained and up to date, and being able to take on these jobs, um, and having our technicians with the skills to be able to do the jobs. Not going into things blind, so that we know where we're going. And also, if we do have a problem, having somebody to contact, or having technical information that we can get to help us by.
So we talked about challenges, but what opportunities are there out there? I mean, drivers are holding on to their cars for longer. The UK's car park is aging. Does that play into the strengths of the independent garage, do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, people are keeping cars for longer. We can definitely tell that. But you have sort of two extremes, really. You've got the customers that like to change their cars regularly, and they still do, and they've gone for the new technologies, sort of hybrids, electric vehicles. And then we've got the other end of the market, where people are hanging on to stuff, because of the way the market is at the moment. Some people don't like spending anything on their vehicles, so they keep the old ones going. So yeah, that's common at the moment as well.
And you mentioned hybrids, electric vehicles. We've got so much new technology coming into the market at present, not just electrification, but also looking at ADAS, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, all the sensors that are now built into modern vehicles that are started to filter down into the independent sector. How should garages be preparing themselves for this new wave of technologies?
Well, for us on our behalf, what we've been doing is trying to do as much training as possible, to be honest. Again, I think if you don't train, you get the sort of technicians that say, right, I don't want to get involved in that. I'm not going to do it. So then you've lost a customer at the end of the day. As I say, for us, we want to be a one-stop shop, so we've got to keep up to date with this technology. Um, Sort of with the electric vehicles, I sent all my technicians. They've all been on the electric course, got their level 3. Um, Obviously, they need to be able to work on electric vehicles because we're getting them in. So any courses that come up like that, we tend to try and send people if we can, because, as I say, it gives them more confidence in working on the products, so that they know what they're doing. And also, you sort of go on these courses and you pick up information, you pick up common faults and things like that. And again, as I said, you build up a network of friends that you can speak to. Somebody may have had that. I'm in quite a few forums and things like that, to be honest, and people that I've been on courses with are putting stuff on these forums, and you can help them, they can help you. It works like that sometimes.
It does seem that the industry really is, coming together probably a lot more than it has done. It forums, networking events, everything like that. Again, it really does help, doesn't it? And keeping in touch with each other. There's more opportunity to do that now, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm so impressed that Schaeffler have put this on. I mean, they seem to be one of the first that have done a big event like this. We go to sort of different things like Auto Mechanica and different shows where we see the manufacturers, and they do little workshops and whatever at the shows. But this is the first of its kind like this, with sort of top speakers and whatever. So yeah, it's really good. I'm hoping to learn a lot from it, to be honest. Um, some of the speakers they've got at this one that's coming up look really really interesting, to be honest. I know, in particular, Andy. I follow him on Facebook and whatever, and um, he knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of good advice to give out to garages like us.
And it is, there's so much interest in there in the industry at the moment, especially when it comes to training. There's so many opportunities for training now as well, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, training costs money. We have to pay for it. Um, people like Schaeffler have actually put on courses for us, which have been free, which have been fantastic. And I don't understand why people wouldn't go. Um, you know, it's just good, really. I mean, you need that knowledge to be able to do your job at the end of the day.
There is that balance, isn't there? Some technicians or some garage owners may feel that taking a day out of the garage will cost them more money through lost work and opportunity. But I imagine if you're organizing your work and your day, efficiently, then the benefits of learning, of meeting people, of what you can bring back to your business from that day out will far outweigh the cost in lost work.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, our workshop's generally booked up 2.5 weeks in advance, but we know it's coming up. We've booked the day, so there's two of us going on that day. Um, if we pick up one thing that makes our business run better than it is at the moment, then that's going to be in the long run worth more than a technician in the workshop or something like that. We're looking for the end goal, really, to be honest. Yeah. So if we can pick up something, we might not learn anything. I don't think so. I think we'll learn a lot.
On the subject of learning, you've mentioned next generation younger technicians a few times. How important is it for the aftermarket to be embracing the next generation of technician now? And what can it be doing to bring the younger people into the industry?
That's a very good question. Absolutely, we need to embrace getting people into the trade. Um, to be honest, it's very, very difficult to get people into the trade these days. When I first started, quite a long time ago, there was a lot of people very interested in being mechanics. These days, we don't see much of that at all. We used to take on trainees quite regularly. The last trainee we took on was 9.5 years ago. So, and we haven't seen, we haven't been bothered by the college or anything to take anybody on. So there is a skill shortage in this trade. And I don't know why it is. I mean, obviously, whether people don't like getting their hands dirty anymore or what it is, I don't know. But it is very difficult for us to recruit. So yeah, so we're not sure why that is. I mean, it's still an enjoyable job. Can be quite stressful, of course, but it's an enjoyable job. We all enjoy doing it. We meet a lot of people, especially in the type of business we are, because we're a country garage. Even though we're quite a big garage, we're a big country garage. Know all our customers. They all know us. And yeah, it's trying to attract people into it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Have you got any ideas? What are you thinking?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I think for a start, I think the aftermarket's trying to attract, or the automotive industry as a whole is trying to attract in different areas. Obviously, software in vehicles now is paramount, and of course, you're competing with the technology industry, the gaming industry in terms of trying to turn people's heads. I do wonder as well if there's also that stigma of perception about, as you said, about getting your hands dirty and the hard manual labor and the
Mm,
stress and the
mm,
the greasy garage and things like that. But
mm.
it's an image that has, I think, it's quite far gone away these days. It's a lot of
Absolutely.
garages I've
Yeah.
been to
Yeah.
are so
Yeah.
extremely precise and the work
Yeah.
is very challenging, but
Yeah.
less so, you know, finding the nut or the bolt that's in the wrong place and but now tracking the broken wire and the technological diagnostics of it. It's quite intriguing actually.
Yeah, yeah. It's changed in the time that I've been in the trade. It's changed so much. Like now, like our workshop, we take pride in keeping our workshop nice and clean. And people walk in and say, "Oh, what a clean workshop," which is lovely, and it's a nice place to work. And we feel that would attract people in. I mean, I've been to garages which are dirty and whatever, and it wouldn't be a pleasant, it wouldn't be the sort of thing I'd want to do anymore. But these days, it's gone away from sort of being the heavy mechanical work. There's more programming and computer work. Most vehicles that come in get connected to diagnostic equipment. So it's. I mean, the younger generation are used to that. Us older ones, well, we are kind of used to it. But there's some older ones than me that struggle with it. But um, it's the way it is these days, and it's not going away. It's technology is coming, and everything keeps changing all the time. And for us, it's just keeping with it, really. Yeah.
I
So
guess as well, it's a case of investing not just in training, but investing in equipment just to make sure that businesses are staying on top of the changing technological interfaces that are coming through on vehicles today.
absolutely. I think there's two standards of garages. You've got the types of garage that want to invest, and you've got the types of garage that are not interested, and they'll just stick to the sort of small servicing work. But even small servicing work, you need diagnostic kit these days to reset service indicators and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the way it's gone, isn't it? But as a garage ourselves, we tend to invest in anything that comes out. We haven't gone any ADAS route yet. But most other stuff we've got into, because again, as I said to you, if our customer goes somewhere else to have their laser four-wheel alignment, or their four-wheel alignment set up by somebody else, they may never come back to us. So we like to look after our customers as best we can and keep them with us, and be able to do these jobs.
Absolutely. And I guess investment in terms of future proofing a business is key in that respect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I said to you earlier, we want to be here tomorrow and the next year and the next year. And if we don't invest in equipment, training, um, we will just die out. Yeah, we don't want to. We're quite happy carrying on as well.
So coming back to the REPXPERT conference, why are events like this key for garage owners to be attending and to be thinking about and planning for?
Yeah, well, like I said to you, I mean, for me personally, I'll learn a lot from it. I wanted to listen to the key speakers, just because some wise people out there. They know what they're talking about, and we've been in the trade a long time, but we'll always learn. You can always learn. Somebody tells you something that you hadn't thought about, a different way of doing things. It's got to be beneficial to our business. So at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. Basically, is keep our business at the top end of our game. We all work hard to do that, and that's what it's all about for us, really. Yeah.
Excellent. Simon, thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for joining me.
No problem, Phil. It's been great to speak to you.
And don't forget to register for the REPXPERT conference taking place on the 22nd of May in Coventry. You can find more details by clicking on the events tab of www.repexpert.co.uk or by scanning the QR code on screen. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.